So now today I'm going to talk about why United States job market is a complete joke. Um, you know, the amount of people that are in manager positions, supervisor positions that are just like looking out for themselves and trying to save their own ass is way too much. And the amount of people that try to probe you just so that they can have some kind of leverage over you is way too much as well. Because if you do a good job, then most likely you're going to be probed for whatever wrongdoing that you might partake in, right? Say like you smoke weed or, like literally anything that doesn't affect their life. They'll try and probe you and do their best to try and see what exactly are you doing in your life that, is a liability. Which in reality, if you just simply do your job correctly, then, there is no liability, obviously. And me personally, I don't smoke weed anymore. I feel like it's redundant. But at the same time, if you do, you're most likely going to get probed. You're most likely going to, um, most likely just going to like have people try and nitpick at every single thing that you do just because they feel better than you, right? And I see this a lot with managers, supervisors. It's annoying, and that's basically any job you go to, right? The amount of drama in the workplace now, especially because of all these DEI incentives, and they have to hire more women. Like the amount of unnecessary drama that they implement is just stupid, and it doesn't make working in America even worth it anymore. But I mean, obviously, with Trump, things like that, like things are gonna change. It's not gonna be overnight, obviously, but it's just a matter of it's pathetic. It's pathetic the way the world has turned into. We've nepotized literally everything in society. It's all just nepotism, right? So you see it in literally every single job. There's some sort of nepotism. There's some sort of, like feeding that like managers do, supervisors. As much as like it might seem like, oh, I don't like authority. Like I'm fine with authority, but when that authority is smug, when that authority uses their position as some sort of leverage over you, and also tries to portray it as if like, oh, I'm better than you because I have this position, when in reality you're probably just fat. You don't like your life. You have like acne and shit like that. Like cool. It's not a matter of whether or not you're better than me. You just have a position that makes you more money. That's completely fine. But moral standards are a thing. And if I were to end up like that person, if I were to end up like that manager, if I was to end up like that supervisor, then yeah, I'd rather kill myself, guys. Like I'm being so serious. I'd rather kill myself than I'd, like it's just stupid. It's stupid because I don't think I'm morally superior to anybody. But when, they put these people in positions that peaked in, high school or some shit like that. And because they don't have any kind of leverage over the world or any kind of leverage over like what's going on in their lives, they decide to project that onto you. And it's stupid. Everybody wants to victimize themselves, but nobody wants to see where the responsibility's at. And the responsibility is all with ourselves. You can only take responsibility for what you've done, but you can't take responsibility if you have no clue and have no sense of self-reflection, which a lot of these people don't have. Like me personally, obviously, like yeah, I could talk to these people nicer. Do I want to? No. No. Because do I want to be like them? No. I'd rather be honest. I'd rather be honest with what I think. And if they can't handle that, then yeah. But obviously lying is going to get you a lot better places. Which yeah, morally I'm not okay with. I'm not okay with that because lying just omits the truth. And if you don't speak the truth, then you give no room for people to try and give you what the actual truth is. If you can't speak your truth, then you give no room to anybody's opinions. You give no room for anybody's, you know, misfortunes, things like that. You're not giving anybody room to try and work with you to try and like understand a bit more where these opinions are coming from. So when you do that, when you ostracize people in the workplace, it's just breeding more disdain for authority and this and that. It's like soft quitting. A lot of people are just soft quitting. They're just, trying to do their own thing. When in reality, building a family and business is not about, like making sure people get their deadlines done or making sure that people like feel as though you're the authority. It's more just about trying to get the job done and what can we do better that would make it the job a lot easier for the people that are working it. But no kind of accommodations are made. No kind of incentives are being brought forward to try and build more of a community in the workplace. Which, like I said, it's probably going to change under Trump, but at the same time, it's only 4 years. That's really not a long time to change a population of 340 million in the United States, change the way they think, etc. So obviously, solution's not to quit your job, but if you do have, like somebody to rely on, somebody that's willing to do such for you, then of course, like it's not like you shouldn't take advantage of that. Take advantage of it if, speaking your honest, God given truth is, like what you want to do. If you want to lie your whole life, if you want to, then yeah, sure, you could be fine with being fat. You could be fine with, doing all these different things. Like you could be fine with lying to yourself your whole life. But is that the way I want to live? Not really. And I mean, I think if you lie constantly, you just develop more anxiety, you develop more depression, you develop all these symptoms of, just dissatisfaction in life. And yeah, I mean, that's why a lot of women are on antidepressants. Like, their whole life is just about lying. It's just about, omitting the truth and making sure that, their lies get them somewhere. And if they can lie good enough, they can, make a lot of money. They can do all these different things. But in reality, it's like it's not going to help them. It's not going to help them with life satisfaction. A lot of people nowadays are going to die on their deathbed just wondering like, hey, did I do everything that I could have done? No, not really. Have I done everything that I could have done? No, not really. But it's a process, and the process includes being honest with yourself, being honest with your opinions. Because if you can't be honest, nobody's going to tell you what the truth actually is. Nobody's going to tell you, like, hey, like that's not how it is. That's not what this person means, or etc. If you lie and you pretend to agree with other people, then there's not going to be any sort of discourse. And then when the actual part comes where you have to stand up for yourself, you're not going to be able to stand up for yourself because all you've been doing is just lying. And that's the problem. That's the real problem. Nobody stands up for themselves anymore. Nobody does anything of that sort because they all just want money. We all just want to survive, right? So as much as I'd want to work a job, I'd want to have a consistent stable income. Like it's hard because, well, a lot of people are not honest. A lot of people are just never honest about what they want. If what you want is money, if what you want is to develop wealth, then yeah, just be honest with yourself. Be honest that you have to work hard for it. You have to develop some sort of skills. Not a lot of people are willing to develop skills nowadays because, well, they see no point in it. But there's so many different things that you can do with your life that doesn't require having to have some sort of authority figure above you. If you have the skills for it, you can make a lot of money. But still, the amount of money you make does not matter if your integrity is dog shit. Like, yeah, sure. A lot of people are happy with 100K in the bank, and they they want to portray it out to the world like, hey, I'm super happy. I love the way I live because I have a Porsche and big old house, and I've lied to get there. But like, what is the point in airing that all out? You're just gonna get robbed, buddy, by some dude that has no sort of will to live, no purpose, no anything. And, because you decide, like, hey, I want to flex on everybody and state how happy I am when in reality I'm not. Yeah, like, it's stupid. But too many people in relationships they don't even want to be in. Too many people in, just jobs that they hate, but they put up with because it pays them enough. Like, I'd rather work at McDonald's every day and then, like, think, like, hey, I don't give a fuck. That person's just going to drive through the drive through and I give them the food. If they're missing a ketchup packet and they yell at me, like, so what? They're going to be gone in the next 10 minutes. Call the cops on them, whatever. I'd rather work at McDonald's than work at some, like, high corporate office that, like, I get treated like a fucking dog. Given dog food. Given dog food for my opinions. Every opinion that I give is just, oh yeah, yeah, cool. And then sit down, be a good boy, do your work, etc. When in reality, like, we need to take into consideration what every employee thinks. But there is no time for that. And when there is no time for that, supervisors and managers just decide, like, hey, crack the whip and keep it pushing. That's basically what today's job market is like. It's simply just crack of the whip and, doing what you can to survive, because that's the only thing that is keeping people alive. It's just the amount of money that we get is just the bare minimum to survive and save like an extra $200 on the side. Like, it's stupid. Not a lot of people are finding any more purpose. Not a lot of people are going to find purpose in this. You see how many people are like offing themselves every single year, and you see how many people are driving drunk every single year. They'd rather go drive drunk and have the potential to accidentally, like, slip and slide themselves than they would, just trying to fix the fucking problem. But no, it's not like that, because, well, workplaces are dog shit. People have no more purpose. People are in relationships that they hate because, if I don't stay in the relationship, I'm not getting pussy at the end of the night. Oh my god. It's stupid. Nobody has integrity anymore. Nobody wants to build family. Nobody wants to build community. All just because, money, money, money. But what can I do? What can I do as a citizen? Of course, I'm talking about it. I want to make sure everybody's aware, like, hey, you have no integrity if you're not being honest with yourself and the people around you. If you're not being honest about what you think about people, like, hey, like, you're a fat fuck. Like, listen, I might be fat in the face, but, like, doesn't mean I'm obese. Doesn't mean, I don't have a 4-pack or, I don't go to the gym. I do go to the gym. I'm 195 pounds. I could cut down to 175 and I could look lean. Is that what I want to do? No. So that's me being honest. Is that what I want to do? No. Is that what you want me to do? Probably. But do I care? No. But that's honesty, right? So when we be honest, we can actually have respect for each other's opinions instead of, like, yeah, sure, I respect the opinion, like, hey, you would look better if you were 175, if you were 165. But my opinion is that, hey, like, I wouldn't be able to, like, choke you out and absolutely, like, demolish you if I wasn't 195. So I don't listen to twinks and I don't listen to fat people. Why? Because, well, they're not being honest with themselves. They're not being honest with the amount of vices that they have that can't get under control. The only thing that a job allows you to do is just to continue your vices without having to worry about, the lack of stability. Your vices could be, drinking alcohol, eating a lot of food, playing video games, scrolling TikTok. It doesn't matter. Have some variability in your life. Nobody has variability in their life anymore. And that's exactly why a lot of people are just stuck in the same position every day. A lot of people are just going to be stuck, working for the man, working for the manager and the supervisors and all that stuff because, well, why take them seriously? Obviously, the CEOs, etc., like, they're not going to look into every single facility that they run and see like, okay, who's better. And like that takes years. Like it usually will take like over a year for a person to, or at least a CEO to really check on their employees and make sure that everybody is in their respective and deserved area. And well, by that time that they decide to start doing it, most of those people are turned over anyway to a different job that's higher pay, but still getting treated like dog shit. And then the cycle continues. So what's the point? What's the point? Like there's got to be some kind of light in the end of the tunnel. Like obviously, you can't just quit your job. People need to survive. But if you have family, if you have people you can rely on, then yeah, sure, focus on doing what you like. Focus on trying to become a professional at whatever endeavor you choose. If it's, playing video games, like obviously, that's a little pathetic. Do you want your peak in life to be a fucking Disney game, Marvel's Rivals or some bullshit? Like, no. But at the same time, like, if you have the means, then by all means, like, you don't have to give a fuck about my opinion. Like, I just think, I would never peak in a video game. But to be honest, does my opinion matter that much? Not really. So that's the best part about life. It's like you could listen to what I'm saying and just be like, "Oh, fuck this kid." But that's honesty. Be honest. If you don't care about my opinion, you can be honest, and I respect that, right? But there is no respect for people that lie, for people that are dog shit, for people that have no integrity. I despise them. There is no sort of, like there is no sort of familiarity. Nothing of the sort. It's all just probing in order for you to get your ass handed to you. And that's it. That's all it is. They'll pretend to be your friend. Everybody will pretend to be your friend. And as soon as they get the moral high ground, then they'll start dogpiling on you. Then they'll start doing whatever they can. Don't get me started on HR with all these women in HR, and they all they ever do is just you know all they ever do is just sit in their office, look at the emails, don't respond to the emails. If the email is about somebody that they desperately need in the company, they're not going to put forth any efforts to try and find a new person to fill the role. No. It's all just games, people. And you know what? I'm happy. I'm happy because I don't have to live like those people. I don't have to smoke weed on a daily just to feel sane. I don't have to go hit my vape because, like, because this person dissatisfied me, right? If that's what keeps me away from, having to do all these things, then yeah, sure. But slowly over time, you learn to stop giving a fuck about what these people think. And when you do that, you finally get the liberty to decide what vices you want to choose. You know, you're not going to be overrun by weed. You're not going to be overrun by alcohol. Just trying to constantly feel like, okay, it's not that big of a deal. When in reality, it's disrespect. It's all just disrespect because they don't respect you. If you want respect, then you have to be, somebody worth respecting. And being worth respecting is not lying to yourself. So just be honest. Just be honest to the people around you. Of course, it's hard. It's dangerous. It's dangerous to be honest. You're gonna get fired. You're gonna get people, trying to threaten you, and but there's that light at the end of the tunnel where some people will, try and give a helping hand, tell you that hey, like, this is the truth. This is God honest truth. And some people know the truth, some people don't. It's up to you to decipher whether or not you want to know the truth or their truth. But at the same time, if you live with integrity, if you live with conviction in your opinions, then more than likely you're not going to just get told off by some twink that, you think knows better than you because they have some sort of authority in one specific area that they prioritize for their life, which is probably not what you want to do. You know, if there's some kind of like manager in some fucking weed dispensary, like not everybody wants to do that, but if there's some kind of PhD in whatever gender studies, like it's not like they know everything about nutrition. Even if they're a doctor, it's not like they know everything about nutrition. But we still take these people as like high authority figures and then bend the knee because, well, they have a position that's better than ours. When in reality, they're just human. They're just humans that bleed the same, think the same, and people don't like to admit that. People don't like to admit that, hey, like, a lot of people just think the same shit. Nobody's actually original in this life. A lot of experiences are never exclusive to just one person. So, yeah. It's not like, it's not like there's some sort of God present in our world right now. Obviously, thank God, God hasn't looked down on us and thought like, hey, I should strike everybody. Because, well, then everybody would get their act right. But it's for us to figure it out. That's the whole challenge. But with that being said, this is Vice Vestra. I'll see you all later. Peace.